Hello everyone and welcome to my monthly vlog. I'm recording this at home as I've some building work being done and I needed to be here to check up on things. This month I'm going to be talking about, you guessed it, the autumn statement. You must all be sick of me talking about revised tax rates and changes to allowances, but here we go again. I'll also cover off a little about inflation, again, and share with you some staff news and what we're up to in the run up to Christmas for charity. In the autumn statement, Jeremy Hunt made the following changes. The additional rate of tax will apply to income above 125,140 rather than the current 150,000. The new threshold ties in with the income figure at which the personal allowance is completely lost. For those earning higher than this new allowance, careful income tax planning using tax-efficient investments such as pensions and where suitable maybe VCTs or EIS might be suitable for you, so get in touch. Apart from the additional rate threshold change outlined then, all other income tax, inheritance tax and national insurance thresholds and allowances will be frozen until April 2028. They'd already been frozen to April 2026, so this measure extends it by another 2 years. Known as a stealth tax, these freezes will impact us all, of course. We know many clients will be most impacted by income tax and inheritance tax freezes. The inheritance tax threshold was frozen to 2026 already, and now it's 2028. The nil rate band threshold hasn't increased since 2009, albeit for some people the introduction of that residence nil rate band has helped. As an aside here, Magenta will be running a webinar about inheritance tax in early 2023 following some of your feedback. Moving on, the dividend allowance is changing, currently set at £2,000 per annum. It will reduce to £1,000 from April 2023 and then £500 from April 2024. For those of you who hold taxable investments, typically those that aren't in an ISA or a pension wrapper, the dividend allowance reduction could impact on the tax payable on your investment income. Ensuring ISA and pension allowances are utilised every year can help minimise that, and so it's really important to think about the planning at this point. The capital gains tax annual exempt amount, which is currently £12,300, will reduce to £6,000, half, from April 2023 and reduce again from April 2024 to £3,000. For those of you, again, who hold taxable investments, typically those outside an ISA or a pension and or in property, for example, the reduction of the capital gains exemption is quite significant, where gains are made in the tax year from next April. So careful planning around disposals will become more important each tax year, and thinking about disposing of significant gains in this tax year might also be valuable before April 2023, and it might be something you wish to consider and discuss with us. The pension triple lock will apply from April 2023, meaning that the state pension will increase by inflation of 10.1% in April. There were some other tweaks in regard to stamp duty, the national living wage and energy price guarantee, but you can read all of that on this week's blog, or it might have been last week's by the time this is published, at the Magenta website. On to the next talking point. It's definitely something high on the agenda in our meetings when we talk to you. Inflation is now reported to be as high as 11%. It's the one thing right now that the news seems to be obsessed with and feeding us negative stories, but yet we can't do anything about it. I saw a great post on social media about the CPI basket and that there are so many items in that CPI basket that some of you personally won't be using. Tobacco, climbing lessons, sports bras, possibly to name a few. Meaning that inflation you personally pay probably isn't this headline figure. Instead, you can actually calculate your own inflation rate using the ONS Personal Inflation Calculator. It allows you to put into the inflation basket the products and services that you actually use. I did it for myself today, and it shows that my personal inflation rate is about 7.4%, so not as bad as the 11% in the news. I'm urging us all to try and stop listening to the media reports on inflation and negative news spins and get a bit more rational and empowered about the reality for your household. You can find the calculator on the ONS website, and I'll post that in the comments to this video on YouTube. So I urge you to try and find out what is your number. And finally, a little news from Magenta. It's a year since we moved into the new office, and for those who've visited us this year, we hope you like our new home. We're very happy here, and we're thinking about starting to decorate for Christmas. And it's so amazing to be able to all be together in the office again post-pandemic. We've got some team changes happening as Claire, our paraplanner and report writer, has decided to move on to take another job in a slightly different role. We wish her all the best with this and we'll miss her certainly. This has meant that we've been looking to recruit and talking to the team about the changes and opportunities that this gives them. Following some thought and discussions, Jess has decided to take on the opportunity to move to the paraplanner role, and she'll start this in December. This means she'll be taking a sidestep from her associate financial planner role, and while she's still probably going to accompany me in some meetings and be taking her exams, she mainly will be responsible for research, technical work and report writing. We've also offered a trainee job to our aspiring career changer called Aled, and he'll join us in January. We'll be undertaking 2 charity events in December as a team. Firstly, we're busy collecting for the local food bank, and Alison, Magenta's business manager, is getting the entire shared office space involved, which includes about 5 different businesses to donate. We're really hopeful to make a big difference in the local community with these donations to the food bank. We'll also be doing Elf Day for Alzheimer's Society and raising money for this charity. We did this pre-COVID and I'm really looking forward to that day as it's always fun and it gets us in the Christmas spirit. And finally, I thought I'd just briefly mention office hours over Christmas. Our Christmas party is on the 16th of December and we're off to Bingo Lingo in Cardiff, so we'll be closed on this day from lunchtime onwards. Then the office will be closed from Christmas Eve until the 3rd of January, which is the first working day of the new year. I hope you found this month's content interesting, and if you want to chat more about any of the topics I mentioned, or if you have things that you'd like me to cover, then get in touch and I'd be delighted to help, and see you next month.